Hey everyone, welcome back to the Miser's Guide. In this video, we will be looking at Lord Skills. Lord Skills can be accessed in the Lord Info menu, and you click on Lord Skills at the bottom right. There are two different trees for Lord Skills. We have the War tree and the Development tree. The War is more focused on your military buffs and improving your mage, archer, infantry, and cavalry, with a few other side benefits as well. And the Development tab is more focused on building up your economy, increasing your research speed, your building speed, and so on. We're going to look at each of these trees individually, but first I'll point your attention over to this little globe, the little blue globe at the top left. If you click on that, you can actually have presets for your Lord Skill setups. I have three that I use. I have one that is more for the war aspect, so it's more focused on entirely buffing my military capabilities. I have one that I call Order because, war and order. The Order is more focused on the economic side. And then I have a balanced one that I use in most cases. The reason you might want to have different Lord Skill setups is depending on different events, you might have to accomplish certain things like killing events. You'd want to have your war setup where you're going to be maximizing your potential in dealing damage and killing enemies. On the other hand, there are some events like the monster hunting one or the gathering one where you're going to want to have a better setup for your economic side of the game. And that might be in gathering resources or in killing monsters. To be able to swap between those and to have a Lord Skill setup that is already pre-established makes it a whole lot easier. This is just like the template that you're going to be using to swap back and forth. If I want to actually change the Lord Skills that I have equipped right now, I would go back to the main Lord Skill page, which is this one. And at the top right, I have those same circular arrows. I click that and I can choose which one I want to have activated. So if I want to use balance, for example, I'd click that and you'll see that there's a 1,000 gem fee to switch. Which, yes, it does cost 1,000 gems, but if you're participating in an event that is going to benefit from those Lord Skills, then it's well worth 1,000 gems. And let's talk about these different trees. We'll start with the easy one, the Development. The Development tree is more focused on the economic side of your kingdom. You've got things like building speed, which increases your construction speed. So if you're going to put on some big builds, having building speed is going to be beneficial. You have load boost. If you're going to be clearing a lot of resources, load boost here, and then further down you have load boost 2. It just means that you can carry back more resources. You have a lot of these kind like production and gathering that either allows you to produce more of that specific resource or it gathers that specific resource more quickly. And there's a few other things in here like monster attack speed, stamina recovery. So different elements that can be beneficial to the economic side of your kingdom. I'm going to talk very quickly about some of the activated skills. So most of these are passive, like this production, the gathering speed, they'll just passively increase those rates or those amounts in your kingdom. You don't have to do anything, but there are a few that are activated, such as harvest. The harvest ability gives you 6 hours worth of production instantly. As soon as you click it, you get 6 hours worth of production. So it's based off of the resource buildings that you have currently. And it has, I believe, a 12-hour cooldown. So you can use it twice per day to get an extra half of a day worth of resource production, which is pretty decent. If you don't have farms and you don't have that resource, that external resource collection, then harvest can be pretty beneficial. There's the stamina recovery activated ability down here, which is just like a 50-point stamina that you can apply. You get that stamina immediately. You can use it to hunt more bosses. You have the gather speed up, which gives you an increased gathering speed similar to the item that you could consume, and that lasts for 2 hours. And I believe that's it for the gathering tree. So there are a lot of good things in here, but the Development tree is not utilized quite as much as the War tree because, in essence, War and Order is more on the war side. You've got a lot in the War tree that is essential to growth and to success in War and Order. So most of the time, people will be filling out their war tree and using that. Some of the simpler things, you've got things like recruitment speed. So that just means you train troops faster. But the majority of what you want here are the buffs that you get to specific unit types. And you're going to want to choose ones that are more effective for your build. So if you're running cavalry and archer, obviously you're going to be wanting to go down the cavalry path and the archer path rather than the infantry and mages. In this case, for me, I'm using infantry and mage, so I'm going to be going down those trees. There are a lot of things in here that I wouldn't recommend getting, like golems are not particularly strong, so going down that golem tree is probably not going to be as beneficial as just straight up getting the bonuses to your actual troops. Let's start with recall all. When you click recall all, any armies that you have out, whether they're gathering or marching on somebody, they'll start to return. It'll be a very, very quick return, 3 seconds worth. Maybe you're being attacked and you need your troops to get back immediately so that you can defend. The recall all button is very, very effective because that 3 seconds is plenty of time to get the troops back so they can be used in combat. There's another activated ability down here called Fast Expansion, which is just a 10% increase to the march size of your army. So that'll last for 1 hour, and it'll just raise the amount of troops that you can send on an army. There's golem support. You can get 200 golems instantly. It's just like training them. That's probably not one of the better skills. Golems are not that difficult to get anyway. Battle SOS is probably one of the, I would say, the most important one of these skills. Slaughter is pretty great too, but Battle SOS is going to be one of the highly sought after activated abilities, especially on newer servers. As soon as you get Battle SOS, what it allows you to do is to attack an enemy and not risk getting dead troops, which is such a big deal because it is far more costly to replace dead troops than it is to just heal wounded troops. Normally, when you attack an opponent, as an attacker, you are at a disadvantage because your troops are going to be killed. And that means they can't be recovered. They have to be retrained from scratch. Battle SOS is kind of like a mobile hospital. So when you attack a player with Battle SOS, it will make it so that any of your killed troops will become wounded. Further down, we have Slaughter. And Slaughter is kind of like the reverse of Battle SOS, where Battle SOS allows your dead troops to become wounded. Slaughter makes the enemy's wounded troops become killed. It's at a much lower rate. I think it's just 10% or so. 10% of those wounded troops will become killed with Slaughter. So it essentially makes it so you do some significant damage on enemies that might just normally heal their wounded troops otherwise. That's about all I want to talk about with Lord skills. Hopefully that is somewhat informational to people out there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting the channel. If you liked what you saw, please consider hitting the like button and checking out other videos on the Miser's Guide to Ebony. I'll see you in the next video.